Identity theft is not a joke, Jim.
Where are the turtles?
Who is Justice Beaver?
I declare bankruptcy!
The Office is one of the most quotable, most culturally adored sitcoms of the 21st century, and we haven't stopped streaming it since the season finale in 2013. We've all got our opinions on the best episodes and characters, but I think we can all agree that the cast as a whole is what made the show so legendary. So what are they all up to now? They're subscribed to us, or they should be, and so should you. While you're at it, turn on those notifications. That way you'll be the first to know when we drop all that hot gossip from The Office.
Did I stutter?
I want people to be afraid of how much they love me.
Let's start with the regional manager of Dunder Mifflin Scranton, Michael Scott, played of course by the now legendary Steve Carell. After The Office and his role in films like The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Carell quickly became known as a comedy A-lister. These days, you can see him in Apple's The Morning Show, which has been renewed for a second season. He's also starring in Irresistible, a new political comedy written and directed by the one and only Jon Stewart. It was set to be released in May of this year, but that has the potential to change due to the coronavirus pandemic. He once again lent his voice to the iconic role of Gru in the upcoming Minions: The Rise of Gru, which has been delayed to the summer of 2021. He's also starring in the upcoming Netflix series Space Force, which he co-created with The Office's Greg Daniels, and it hits the streaming service on May freaking 20th.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
On to our favorite prankster, John Krasinski's Jim Halpert. Since his time on The Office, he's really expanded his career as an actor and a filmmaker. We certainly saw that with his hit horror movie A Quiet Place, which he co-wrote and directed and starred in. Last month, we would have gotten to see the sequel, A Quiet Place 2, which he once again wrote, directed, and starred in. But as we all know, the film was delayed until September 4th due to the coronavirus pandemic. Beyond that, Krasinski has also found success playing the title role in Amazon's hit streaming series Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. And speaking of COVID-19, Krasinski started his own YouTube show titled Some Good News to highlight positive news during the pandemic. Bless you, Krasinski, we love you.
Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I do not do that thing.
Then there's our assistant to the regional manager, Dwight Schrute, played by Rainn Wilson. While he didn't quite reach the heights a few of his co-stars did, he's established a presence on like every platform, from movies to TV to the internet and podcasts. Most recently, he was seen in the series finale of Transparent on Amazon Prime Video and a few episodes of Mom on CBS. On TV, we can look forward to him starring in 2 new Amazon projects: Gillian Flynn's new series Utopia, which is set for release later this year, and a new drama series, The Power, whose release date has not been announced. On the silver screen, we'll be seeing him in the thriller Don't Tell a Soul, and hearing him in the animated movie Robo-Dog, both of which are expected to come out at some point later this year. He's also been hard at work on his website Soul Pancake, which, according to the site, creates smart, uplifting, meaningful, shareable content targeted to the optimistic millennial. You've also got to give his podcast Metaphysical Milkshake a listen. Dude, our man Dwight has been busy.
I feel God in this Chili's tonight.
Then there's Pam Beesly, played by Jenna Fischer. She's worked mostly in TV since The Office ended, including shows like ABC Splitting Up Together, Comedy Central's Drunk History, and the NBC miniseries You, Me, and the Apocalypse. She also wrote a book, The Actor's Life: A Survival Guide, which was published in 2017. But if you haven't heard, she is currently hosting a podcast called Office Ladies alongside her friend and former co-star Angela Kinsey. The two of them go through each episode of the show and talk about behind-the-scenes tidbits and things fans of the show might not have known.
I love inside jokes. Love to be a part of one someday.
Ryan started the fire! It was always burning, everybody was turning!
BJ Novak, aka Temp, and Firestarter Ryan Howard also served as a writer, director, and producer on The Office. He has since been seen in The Mindy Project on Hulu, which he also helped direct and produce, Saving Mr. Banks, The CW's Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Community on NBC, and The Founder. Novak will make his feature directorial debut with the horror mystery thriller Vengeance, set to be released in 2021, which he also wrote and will star in. From salesman to regional manager, Ed Helms went from supporting star to the head of The Office over the course of his run on the show, in part thanks to his rising popularity in Hollywood. Since his time on the series, he's popped up in movies like Vacation, The Clapper, Captain Underpants, The First Epic Movie, Father Figures, and more. Most recently, Helms is in the new Netflix action comedy Coffee and Kareem, which hit the streaming platform on April 3rd. We can also look forward to seeing him in Togetherish, another new comedy premiering later this year.
What are your weaknesses?
I don't have any, ass.
Mindy Kaling, aka Miss Kelly Kapoor, was also a writer, director, and producer on The Office. She went on to develop her own TV series, The Mindy Project, in addition to starring in A Wrinkle in Time, Ocean's 8, and a voice role in Pixar's Inside Out. More recently, she's written and starred in Late Night and appeared in a few episodes of The Morning Show alongside Steve. She also created the Hulu series 4 Weddings and a Funeral, based on the 1994 movie with the same name, and finally, she's the creator of the Netflix sitcom Never Have I Ever, which premieres late April 2020. Get it, girl.
You guys, I'm like really smart now. You don't even know.
Pull me up! You're too heavy!
I only weigh 82 pounds!
Angela Kinsey, who portrays Angela Martin on The Office, may be cold and careless on the show, but she's the complete opposite in real life, as you can tell just by listening to her podcast with Jenna Fischer. She's also continued her acting career through film and TV roles like Tall Girl and Haters Back Off on Netflix, Fresh Off the Boat on ABC, and so much more. Kinsey also plans to star in Mindy Kaling's Netflix series Never Have I Ever.
Plantation.
Oscar Martinez, played by Oscar Nunez, is yet another actor who has seen their career expand since the series ended. Most recently, he's been in shows like CBS's Life in Pieces, Netflix's Mr. Iglesias, CBS's NCIS Los Angeles, and more. Oh, and of course, he was in The Proposal with Sandy Bullock. He also lent his voice to 3 Below, Tales of Arcadia, and Where's Waldo. Oh yeah, and you've probably seen him in those State Farm commercials. No, not as Jake.
You have a lot to learn about this town, sweetie.
Actress Phyllis Smith, who plays Mrs. Bob Vance on The Office, has since been seen or heard in The Middle on ABC, the Netflix series The OA, and the adorably gloomy role of Sadness in Pixar's Inside Out alongside Mindy Kaling.
What the hell?
It's okay, guys. She's no longer horny.
My jam!
Whoa, what are you doing?
Leslie David Baker, aka Stanley Hudson, has continued to work primarily in TV since the series finale. Most recently, he has been lending his voice to Disney's animated series Puppy Dog Pals. He's also appeared in an episode of the CBS sitcom Fam. Then there's
Kevin Malone.
God bless this man and his chili. Brian Baumgartner, who played Kevin on the series, has since been bouncing between film and TV. He's been seen in shows like ABC Family's Melissa and Joey, NBC's Chicago Fire, ABC's The Goldbergs, and TNT's Good Behavior, just to name a few.
Why waste time? Say lot word when few word do trick.
His next project is Electric Jesus, which is now in post-production.
Damn it, Meredith, where are your panties?
It's casual day.
Kate Flannery never ceased to shock us with Meredith's outrageous moments on The Office. Nowadays, she continues to work mostly in television, doing voice work for shows like Cartoon Network's Steven Universe and OKKO, Let's Be Heroes. Also, last year, Flannery appeared on the recent season of Dancing with the Stars on ABC. We'll see her next in Number 8 Film's latest comedy, Golden Arm.
No, God!
Michael's worst enemy, Toby Flenderson, played by Paul Lieberstein, actually had a big influence on The Office as a writer, director, and producer. He has since continued to work in front of and behind the camera, directing and starring in episodes of Hulu's The Mindy Project and HBO's The Newsroom, while also appearing in the TBS series People of Earth. In 2018, he made his feature film debut by starring, writing, producing, and directing the dark comedy Song of Back and Neck.
It's Halloween. That is really, really good timing.
Creed freaking Bratton, played by, well, Creed Bratton, was arguably the craziest character on the show. Although he's primarily a musician, his role in The Office is what he's most known for, and the series has definitely led him to more roles since it ended. He was recently seen in The Sisters Brothers and an episode of Hulu's Into the Dark. We'll see him next in the comedies Maybe There's a Tree and Mayfield's Game.
And don't forget the new black man phrase I taught you.
Pippity poppy, give me the zobbity.
Yes, sir.
DARRYL PHYLBIN, played by Craig Robinson, had a sizable role towards the end of The Office's run, and his acting profile has continued to grow since then. He most recently starred in Dolomite Is My Name, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, and Timmy Failure, Mistakes Were Made. He also has a recurring part on Brooklyn Nine-Nine on Fox, and he's lending his voice to the upcoming The Ark and the Aardvark. He's also set to appear in the Final Fantasy film Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon. And last, but absolutely not least, is ELLIE KEMPER, aka the crazy and quirky ERIN Hammond. Since The Office, you've almost definitely seen her in Netflix's hit show Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. She's also done voice work for the Secret Life of Pets movies, Disney's Sophia the First, Cartoon Network's We Bare Bears, and more. Her upcoming projects include the comedy The Stand-In and the upcoming Home Alone reboot. In 2018, she published her first book, My Squirrel Days. As long as no one leaves her in charge of shipments, she's definitely got a bright future ahead of her.
What happened here?
You left me in charge of the pens, Pam. That's what happened. The pens happened.
Who was your favorite? Let me know in the comments, and while you're down there, hit that subscribe button. If you don't, well,